Jungkook in tears after BTS members' personal accounts are brutally attacked. What really happened behind the screens? In a moment that left millions frozen in disbelief, BTS's youngest member, Jungkook, was reportedly seen crying after a massive wave of coordinated cyberattacks targeted the personal accounts of every BTS member. The attack, which unfolded over the span of mere hours, has sent shockwaves through both the K-pop industry and the global fanbase. What kind of messages were sent? Who orchestrated this? And why was Jungkook, among them all, so emotionally shattered? The answers may be far darker than anyone anticipated. The incident began with subtle signs, unusual posts, sudden unfollows, and cryptic messages appearing across Instagram and Twitter accounts linked to BTS members. At first, many thought it was a technical glitch or perhaps a marketing stunt. But the tone shifted quickly when intimate, unfiltered content began surfacing. Screenshots, deleted messages, and manipulated images began flooding timelines. Within minutes, the phrase BTS hacked surged to the top of trending charts across multiple platforms, and armies around the world were left in horror. But this wasn't just a breach of privacy. It was a targeted, strategic assault. What made the attack especially disturbing was the deeply personal nature of the leaks. Unlike typical hacks that aim for public embarrassment or mere trolling, these attackers seemed intent on dismantling the mental fortitude of the members themselves. Sensitive DMs, drafts of lyrics that were never meant for public eyes, internal notes, and private voice memos were exposed. The digital barrier between idol and individual was not only crossed, it was obliterated. Jungkook, whose Instagram activity had already been under constant scrutiny due to his rising solo fame and increasing tattoos, was hit the hardest. Fans reported seeing live footage, brief and blurry, of Jungkook wiping his eyes during a late-night live stream before the feed was abruptly cut. Many are speculating that the stream was unintended, perhaps triggered while he was scrolling through the leaked material. The brief clip showed no words, only silence, heavy breathing, and the unmistakable gesture of a man in anguish. Why Jungkook? Some speculate it's because he's perceived as the emotional anchor of the group. Others point to recent changes in his online behavior. Long captions, obscure images, and an almost poetic detachment from promotional content. Many believe Jungkook had been slowly withdrawing emotionally, and the breach of his personal digital sanctuary was the final crack in an already fragile state. Adding to the suspicion is the timing of the attack. Just days before, BTS had posted behind-the-scenes glimpses of upcoming projects, suggesting a major comeback or collaboration in the works. Was this attack designed to sabotage their return? Or worse, was it intended to send a warning? The nature of the content leaked also raises serious questions. A set of drafts attributed to Jungkook reveal handwritten thoughts, some expressing loneliness and frustration. One particularly chilling note reads, "I don't know where I end and the image begins anymore." Another member's account showed an unsent message that appeared to be directed at staff, highlighting exhaustion, manipulation, and fear of public perception. These were not simply celebrity leaks. They were psychological landmines. AS armies scrambled to report, mass flag, and block the spread of the leaks. Panic erupted across online communities. Major fan bases issued immediate responses urging all fans to avoid sharing or even viewing the material. But the damage had already taken root. Even major media outlets, normally hesitant to cover such invasions of privacy, couldn't ignore the scale of this breach. The situation worsened when several AI-generated forgeries were found among the real leaks, causing confusion about what was authentic and what was fabricated. The attackers not only stole but also distorted, blending truth and fiction to create maximum chaos. This revelation further blurred the lines between reality and manipulation, and plunged fans into emotional paralysis. Behind the scenes, the members reportedly began locking down their devices, removing posts, and in some cases, deleting entire social media histories. The sense of digital silence was deafening. As fans awaited a response, No statements came. No tweets. No posts. Just emptiness. What disturbed the public most was the emotional toll it seemed to take on Jungkook. Unlike his usual resilience, his online absence turned into a deafening void. Fellow members were unusually silent, fueling further speculation. Had the incident caused fractures within the team? Were certain members blaming themselves or others? In fan forums and translated community posts, several anonymous sources close to staff claimed Jungkook had not left his residence for several days and that he was in no condition to appear publicly. These claims, though unverified, were enough to ignite panic among fans who recalled previous instances of mental strain and emotional exhaustion that the members had subtly hinted at over the years. But the question still stands: who would dare target BTS in such a calculated and ruthless manner? Several theories have surfaced. Some blame anti-fans, individuals or groups who have spent years attempting to discredit BTS's success. Others suggest it could be a more organized movement, perhaps linked to music industry insiders or rival agencies that see BTS's global dominance as a threat. There are even whispers of rogue insiders, people with personal grudges and enough access to cause irreparable damage. Regardless of who is behind it, the psychological impact of the attack is undeniable. The internet is no longer just a tool for promotion. It is an extension of one's identity. And for global superstars like BTS, that identity is under perpetual assault. The recent breach didn't just expose private content. It shattered the already delicate boundary between human and product, between artist and brand. This is no longer a conversation about digital privacy. It's a crisis of identity. In the days following the attack, fans began organizing digital vigils, silent live streams, blacked out profile pictures, and even coordinated timeouts from social media. Their message was clear. The world may obsess over the public image of BTS, but their humanity cannot be sacrificed for entertainment. As the silence from the members continues, the unease deepens. Will Jungkook return to the public eye unchanged? Will trust be restored? Or has something irreparable occurred beneath the surface? Perhaps the most haunting question of all is not who did this, but what did they hope to achieve? And what does it say about the world we've created when even the most powerful idols are not safe within their own digital walls? Fans may eventually forget the posts. The media may move on. But for Jungkook, and perhaps for all of BTS, this breach has left behind a wound that no filter, no publicist, and no stage smile can ever truly conceal. Is this the truth behind Jungkook's breakdown? Or a masterclass in digital deception? In the aftermath of the alleged cyberattack that exposed personal data from BTS members' social media accounts, an incident that seemingly left Jungkook in tears, the global conversation has entered a darker, more complex dimension. Was it all real? Or was the entire spectacle a manipulation, an elaborate orchestration designed to provoke, deceive, and profit from collective outrage? These questions are not merely rhetorical. They are essential. In an era where viral content spreads faster than facts, where digital performance often overshadows personal pain, and where audiences are conditioned to consume emotional moments like commodities, how do we separate truth from fabrication? Consider this. How do we know the video of Jungkook crying was authentic? The clip, circulated rapidly across platforms like TikTok and Twitter, lasted mere seconds. There was no audio, no context. Could it have been an old video, re-uploaded to fit a fresh narrative? Could it have been deep-faked, manipulated, or even intentionally leaked to serve a larger agenda? And even if it was real, was it truly connected to the account breach? Or was that connection drawn by desperate speculation and algorithm-fed assumptions? Are we consuming someone's suffering? Or are we simply following a trail of digital breadcrumbs laid down for dramatic effect? We must now ask ourselves, have we become complicit in the very exploitation we claim to condemn? The urgency of these questions intensifies when we remember that the majority of this information emerged not from formal journalism or transparent investigation, but from chaotic, unregulated sources, viral TikTok threads, reaction YouTubers, anonymous Twitter accounts, and hastily compiled screen recordings. In a space so saturated with misinformation, what does it mean to know anything with certainty? Should we trust posts that offer no source? Should we believe headlines that feed on shock and emotion without offering verifiable evidence? Should our empathy be dictated by trending hashtags and viral edits, or by a deeper, more discerning understanding of the people behind the fame? Even the platforms themselves, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, play an implicit role in shaping what we see and how we respond. Algorithms favor the provocative over the nuanced. Content that evokes outrage or heartbreak spreads faster than content that clarifies or contextualizes. It is not surprising, then, that a moment of alleged vulnerability from Jungkook would dominate global attention. But is that attention grounded in truth? Or is it merely a reaction to a perfectly designed emotional trigger? Let us reflect. How many times have public figures been caught in moments of pain, only for the truth to later reveal a very different story? How many scandals have unraveled into misunderstandings? How often have fans been weaponized, willingly or not, by narratives that thrive on ambiguity and mass speculation? To be clear, we are not dismissing Jungkook's pain, nor the possibility of a genuine breach. If this incident did occur as reported, it represents a profound violation of privacy, identity, and mental well-being. But responsible discourse demands more than belief. It requires scrutiny. Are we doing justice to BTS by accepting every rumor as truth? Or are we disrespecting their humanity by feeding into a system that capitalizes on emotional volatility? This is not just about Jungkook. It's about how we, as a society, consume trauma. It's about our impulse to share before we verify, to judge before we understand, and to feel before we think. Emotional reactions are powerful, but without reflection, they become dangerous. And so, we must ask again, do you believe the events described are entirely authentic? Are the tears real, or are they carefully placed symbols in a larger spectacle? Is this breach a cry for help, or a constructed crisis for clicks? Has Jungkook truly been broken by invasion, or have we broken him through our endless hunger for access? Every viewer, every fan, every person reading this must answer these questions for themselves. Not with blind loyalty, not with dismissive cynicism, but with critical thought, emotional maturity, and an awareness of the power that narratives hold in the digital age. Because the real tragedy may not lie in whether Jungkook cried, but in how quickly we turned it into content. We urge you. Think before you share. Reflect before you react. Always question what you're told, even by us. Our sources come from the very platforms where information is both born and distorted. TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. These are not inherently reliable nor inherently false. They are mirrors of our collective curiosity, and sometimes our collective delusion. Did I ask this story real? Or have we all been pulled into a performance? Your answer matters. Because in the war between truth and spectacle, the audience is not innocent.